morning, everybody. Oh, I probably need to tip that up. Either that or scrunch down really far. We have quite a bit of wind this morning, so hopefully you can hear me. I unboxed the sun oven yesterday, and the part that I was most excited about was the dehydrating kit. We do have the kit on, or we do have the sun oven on our website now. I have heard really good things about these, but I haven't played with them yet. So again, yesterday I cut these out on the Facebook Live show, and of course I forgot to bring my bananas over that I was going to cut up. So hold on a second. I'll be right back. My kittens are in the house. They think they're so helpful coming in and eating their food. Well, I cannot tell them no. Oh my, they have changed the way that I read this. Hey Browncoat Homestead, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've never used a solar oven before. I think I've tried the ones that are cardboard boxes with tin foil, and I was unimpressed. This one is the All-American Sun Oven. And even though I already have I have the Aircrete oven, and I have the rocket stove that I can use the Aircrete oven with, if I was in a pinch and I needed to be able to bake, I would like to not be relying on propane. So we're going to go ahead and try this out. So far, it's pretty straightforward. You use parchment paper on the little racks. See if I can show you. And the little racks stack on top of each other, like so. So there's 3 racks, which I think I have 6 racks in my open air dehydrator. And it works really, really well next to a wood burning stove in the winter with a little fan, that little fan that runs off the heat of the stove itself that pushes air into it. That open air one works really well for that, but it doesn't work well in our climate outside, unless you're just doing herbs. Let's see. Anybody saying anything? Hey, everybody. So everybody's just saying hi to everybody. Yesterday I threw this together just to show how it worked, but you always want to be conservative on space. You can see how I threw these ones around, and I did not actually put it outside yesterday. I was in a little bit of a hurry. I'm trying really hard to give the girls useful kittens, useful physical activity every day. So we've been going on hikes. We have leased a little pony that we're out riding every day. And I'm trying really hard. They're kind of at that age where I can't carry them. And I think if there was ever an emergency, I really want my kids to be in good shape. But just for everyday life, I want my kids to be in good shape. I want them to be able to move. I want them to be able to breathe. I want them to be super confident. So that's what we're doing right now, is we're taking lots of hikes. We're doing lots of horseback riding. We're doing yoga. I'm trying to teach the girls how good it feels to move. They already have the movement from hauling water and that kind of thing. But that's not prolonged. That's sporadic throughout the day, and it's good. But I really want them to be comfortable in their own bodies, and comfortable with sweat, and comfortable with breathing hard, and comfortable with exertion. So that's kind of what we're focusing on right now. I guess that would be my big homeschool push for the year, is physical competency. Oh, somebody said something. What did they say? How to grow bananas from seeds. Your shirt is pretty. Thanks. This is my Dirtpatcheaven shirt. I need to put it up again. I do have t-shirts. They are for sale, and I keep forgetting to put them up. Anyway, so that's what we're focusing on this year for homeschool. Is I want everybody to be feeling very strong in their bodies, very confident in their bodies. And I'm on keto right now, and I thought keto was supposed to mean you didn't have very much energy, but what I have found has been the opposite, is that I have abundant energy without caffeine, and I have a lot more clarity. But I was definitely overdoing it on the carbs before, not just like moderate carb. I was just kind of really relying on carbs. And so I was having a lot of sugar spikes. And these chips, these banana chips, will be for the kids, so not for me. I have a very addictive personality, and so sugar, any kind of sugar, even if it's fruit sugar, I will overdo it on it. Okay, somebody just said something and then it went away. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can see me, or not see me. I hope you can hear me. This camera does not have as good a microphone on it as my old one does. I think the camera itself is better, but the microphone is not very fantastic. You can see just how many bananas I can fit on one tray. A little bit goes a really long way. And if this were to be dehydrated in a couple hours, I could switch them out. I don't know. I should probably see if I can. Oh, I can. Oh, yes, we leased a pony. We are very close to where I grew up, and I had horses when I was a kid, and we are at the same stable that I was at as a child, and my kids are learning from the same friend of the family that I learned. And lessons are wonderful, and we are taking lessons, but we've leased the pony so that we can get more rides in before we leave. I have every intention of having the kids ride when we get to Tulsa, but I am not as confident in the instructors there as I am in the instructors here. So I'm trying to get as much riding time under their belts as I can before we get to Tulsa in September. Off-Grid Lifestyle said, so on keto, do you lose weight on keto diet? Yes, I did lose weight immediately. I lost weight very quickly on the keto diet, and then instead of losing weight, I just started to lose inches. But the thing I love about it the most is my energy, and I'm not having problems with brain fog and cravings the way I was before. And I do have a video coming up about that. I've always done really well on a high protein diet, but this one is a high fat, low carb. Kitty, get off, 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 get off. You cannot be on the table. Come on, go on the chair. Let me keep my hands clean. So let's see. Oh my goodness, we have all sorts of people saying things that I can't. Kitty, 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 get off, get off. No, 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 no. Thank you. Sorry, we do not let cats on the table, but she likes to sneak in, and I think she can tell my hands are busy. All right, so again, struggles, struggles, the struggle is real. All right, so I'm going to make this one a little bit longer than I did the last time, so that it goes over both edges. There we go. Hopefully that will go to all edges. Kitties, go out. They know that my hands are busy, and they know they're not supposed to be in the house right now. Sorry I can't see the comments very easily, guys. I need to push the button that takes it to the bottom, but I've got bananas all over my hands. So just keep commenting, and I'll do my best to answer as I see it. The cats are actually climbing in and out of their cat food bag right now, little stinkers. The kids are out doing chores this morning, so I don't have an extra set of hands to ask the girls to come get the kittens out of the kitchen. We have one of those fly screens across the door. Off-Grid Lifestyle said, it's great, you're even more healthy, you're happy, energetic, and more awesome. Well, thank you very much. I am trying to be, and part of that, and that's why I'm having the big push for the change in homeschool a little bit. We are still going to do book learning, but every single day we have to go do something that's heavy exertion. Not just a little walk, but heavy exertion, something that makes your ankles work, something that gives you flexibility, something that makes you breathe heavy. And that's what we're going to be aiming for every single day. And I think there's a window of willingness on kids, and I don't want that window of willingness to go away before I can teach them how fun it is to move. So that's the goal. And we have a new rule as well, because Mom gets really stressed out. I have some anxiety, and I work, and I'm taking care of kids, and John is in Tulsa, so I have a lot on my plate. So I can get snappy, and I can get insistent. So our new rule is that if Mom yells at you, Mom doesn't speak kindly, she owes you $1. And the reason I have that as a big amount instead of like 25 cents is because I really can get stuck in my head and use my volume control poorly. So it's $1 when mom yells at you, and if you get bossy with your sister, you owe her 25 cents. And if you yell at your sister, it's $1. Which, while I'm learning and trying to remember all of this, the girls will have plenty of dollars to work with to pay each other as well. So hopefully this works for real. So far, the girls have really enjoyed it because it's almost kind of like the quiet game. If they start to lose their temper a little bit, they stop back and wait and see if their sister loses their temper. And if she can keep from yelling, because if she doesn't keep from yelling, you get $1. And so it's kind of like a fun money-making quiet game, which I have really enjoyed watching the girls learn to just kind of hold back and decide, do I really want to say that bad enough that I want to pay 25 cents to say it? Do I really want to boss my sister around enough that I want to give her 25 cents? If I feel really strongly about this, if I want to yell at my sister, I better feel $1 strong about yelling at my sister. And for me, it's about, okay, I will probably lose my temper, and if I do, I don't want the kids to feel like, I don't want to have there be a reward system for me yelling, but I kind of feel like if I'm going to yell and I'm going to be really frustrated, I want the kids to feel like they're getting something back. And that sounds like a reward system of like, let's make mom yell so that we can have $1. But I kind of want it to work the other way around, that for me to be able to say sorry at the end of the night and hand out my dollars, kind of like I'm a stripper or something. I know that sounds awful, but I hand out my dollars at the end of the night for if I yelled, and usually there's like $1 or $2 that each girls get. I aim for 0, but usually in a given day, there's at least $1 for each girl. Sometimes on a bad day, there's $2 for each girl. But they're handing back quarters and stuff for having been bossy. And I'm trying really hard, and that way they have a little bit of spending money if they have something important that they want to do. They're already doing chores, they're already working really hard, and this is it's almost like a game. It's kind of like a game, making a game out of whether or not mom can calm down and be happy. Let's see, I don't have Smart and Final. I've never heard of that. Anyway, so that's kind of how it works. Little Bits of Heaven. Hey, Catherine. Catherine also did a video on the Sun Oven on our Facebook page, and she showed how to use it out in her yard. I did the unboxing yesterday, and she showed how to use it. So far I have a bundle of like, 4 or 5 bananas, and it's only taken, I'm not sure it'll even take 2 full trays. But back to what we're doing with the girls. Is that way, I hope it feels like a game to them, and if mom yells at them, I have to say sorry at the end of the night, and I have to hand them that $1 and be like, tomorrow I won't yell anymore. But it means that if they're kind of like, well, I hope mom yells a little bit tomorrow, hopefully there's a little bit of silliness and forgiveness in that, instead of just, oh, mom keeps yelling at me and it makes me cry and mom's stressed out and I wish mom wasn't stressed out. So that's what we're doing. I'm not recommending it to anybody else. Kitty, you are a menace. And it means raising your voice. It doesn't even have to be like full-on, full-blast yelling. It's just, if I raise my voice and I act angry, that's yelling. So, I am happy with it. I might even fine-tune it a little bit over time as far as like paying attention as mom actually listening when they're talking. If they have these conversations they want to have with me. Sometimes I do have to tell them, come on guys, if you calm down and stop talking so much, you can bike without gasping, or come on girls, once you're not talking and you can get your chore done while talking, but first you have to be able to do your chore without talking. Kitty, get down. Get down. Oh, you don't fear me, do you? Okay, so what are people saying? The 2 people I listened to the most was my dad and my grandmother, and they never raised their voice. Well, exactly. I don't think you have to raise your voice in order to be able to be heard. And it's a habit of mine at this point, and it's something that makes the girls sad. And it's something that I want to be more cognizant, more aware of what it is that they're asking me, and more aware of what they're saying. And I want them to be more aware of what I'm saying. And if that means I need to slow down, whatever that means, at least at this point in time, they get a little bit of a reward. Okay, So what I'm seeing there is that I have it too far out on the edge, which is fine, but I need to move everything in or I won't have room to put the legs in. So it looks like there is a learning curve on this. Because the legs tilt inward like this, see how the legs tilt inward? I have to be able to have somewhere to put these other bananas. Or
Mom,
there's not room. Yes, honey.
Put this milk in the...
No, because I don't think the bucket was clean enough. Just go put it under the peach tree after you feed the baby goats. Okay?
Tell Kaya that the baby goat bottles already.
Well, I'm not, she's not in here, honey.
Oh.
Okay, so let's see if that squishes them. Okay, so there they are in that. I kind of want to wash my hands. You guys can be patient for a minute. Let me wash my hands. Get all the bananas off, and that way I can go back and answer some questions. Hey, Paigey. All right, so now that you don't need to see that as much, I'm going to tip that up so I can see and answer some questions. Mom yelled all the time, and I'm bad about it too. Yeah, my mom wasn't really bad about yelling, but us, I don't know. I got into it early when we first got married, and when we got here, it was hard for the kids to hear me from the long distances that I would need to call them from, and sometimes they weren't listening. And I think a lot of what happened was I kind of got into this mindset that I couldn't walk away from my work to go talk to someone. Instead, I felt like I needed to stay and finish my work. And instead of being able to just walk outside and have a conversation with somebody, I would yell for them. And so then it became a distance thing. But then when they'd come in close to me, I was still not listening, and I was still, volume control was affected by the fact that usually I was yelling from a distance. So now my rule is, you heard me just call for Paige. She didn't come. She probably didn't hear me, which means that I can't yell for her. I have to go to her and talk to her if I want to talk to her. I've had a couple times the last few days when it really was a big deal, and I saw that I was escalating and I was yelling, but I was really frustrated. We'd had a sheep that had had a rope tied around its leg, and the girls had gone out to do chores. I told them to check on the goats and the sheep, and they didn't. And then I found that they didn't, and I found that there wasn't water, and I found that there was a rope tied around a lamb's leg, and I was, that kind of thing. I want them to really see that I'm serious. I'm very, very serious about this. This lamb could lose a leg. This lamb could die. There's hot heat outside. I am not happy with this. This is not okay. So I did yell some with that one. Maybe not yell, but just like, my voice was pretty stern and pretty loud and pretty angry. And I was okay with that. As I did it, I was like, I'm going to have to pay them $1 for this tonight. I'm okay with that. They need to know this was serious. This was not okay. And so it's kind of a balancing trick for me. There are definitely some things that I think kids should have consequences for. We don't do spanking or anything like that. We used to, but we don't anymore. Not because we think it's evil, but because I think the kids have just become old enough that they don't really need that anymore. Yeah, the cat is testing my limits today. Off Good Life said, I love a happy Mrs. Dirt. When you get serious, I get scared. Oh, you should see my kids. Not very often does John get in trouble. There's been a couple of times when he should have been scared too, I guess. Denise said, I grew up in an abusive home, so yelling was a norm. I'm going to change the tone of my voice starting today. Well, and we have our ups and downs, and I think when we as moms let ourselves get super stressed, and when we think that we can't leave our work to go have a conversation, or when we feel like we're not doing enough, it's why I like slow work. I like slow work in the kitchen. I like slow work on the spinning wheel. I like slow work out in the garden. I like to be finished with my heavy hot work before 10 o'clock in the morning, so there's no heat. The less stress I'm experiencing physically, the less stress I pass on to my kids by being frustrated with them, wishing they were doing more, wishing they were doing it differently. And I've noticed with my kids that when I can slow down and do that kind of thing, their emotions are more stable. Especially with Kaya, she is struggling a little bit because John's not here. they hadn't seen him since March, and then he was able to come for 2 weeks, and that was really hard that he was gone again. It's hard on her that we're not in a solid forever home right now. She doesn't want to go back to Tulsa. She wants to stay close to Granny and Grandpa, but she wants to go to her dad. So she's feeling a lot of emotions right now, and she's doing some crying and some talking and that kind of thing. And if I was to not be sensitive to that, it would be pretty miserable for all of us. And so one of the reasons there's not as many videos up right now is that I'm trying really hard during the day to be focusing on the kids, to be focusing on slowing down and not being stressed out. Money's one thing. Having money to go do things and to have your living on YouTube is one thing. But I am the mom. John has a job, and I don't need to be making money the way that I needed to be making money before. So if you see that the videos are really slowing down and I'm not putting them up as frequently, it's because the kids really need my attention right now. And I'm working really hard to have my paradigm change so that I'm locked into them and that they have what they need from me. Let's see. Lord Stormrider said usually it only took the look and no raised voices were required. Well, that's true, unless they're a mile away in the backfield and they can't see the look. And that was kind of where the bad habit started, was, at least here, was that if I have to yell to get them, and we have lots of trees and lots of fruit trees and lots of places where the kids are, and so it's hard to get their attention. What my parents used to have was one of those big dinner bells, and so when they rang the bell, it meant everybody come, drop what you're doing, and come now. Our property was too big to be able to yell across, so they used a dinner bell. Yes, ma'am.
Are these okay?
Blackberries! Yes, they are just fine.
Okay, I'm just.
It just means they didn't get quite enough water, and maybe they're not quite ripe yet. That's all it means. So you might want to leave them on the cans a little longer. Yes.
This one has the least amount, so you can have this one.
So these are our blackberries, our Idaho blackberries. They're a little tart. I don't think those are ready yet. All right, let's see. Oh, I like that. Sea Siren Janine said, I get up at 5 a.m. to drink my coffee and do my mom work in peace. Now, that works really well for me too. But I haven't had a lot of self-discipline lately. Lately, what had been happening was before I went on the keto, I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was doing all my editing, all my working, and then I wouldn't get the girls up until like 7.
No, I always got up at about 8.
Oh, did you get up at 8? So 7:38. Okay, but take the blackberries somewhere that they're not getting on the tablecloth, okay? Thank you. And that's what I was doing. And then I got on the keto, and my sleep kind of changed. My energy kind of changed. And when I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would crash in the middle of the day, and I need to sleep for like 2 or 3 hours. I wasn't handling it very well at all. When I got on the keto, I don't need a nap in the middle of the day. And I found that my patience was better. And so I felt like I didn't have to get up quite so early. I'd still really like to get up really early and get my work done. But I have found that my body feels different on the keto, and I'm kind of trying to adjust to that. I don't have the anxiety at night and the nervousness of needing to get up and get everything done. So it's maybe more mellow, which probably isn't really a good thing for work for me. I probably work better when I'm a little bit anxious, but I'm kind of reveling and enjoying this kind of mellow experience I'm having with the keto.
So Dad quit his keto and Mom is still on.
Francis Diver said, your young lady sounds a little hormonal. She might be. I think a lot of it also comes down to the keto, though, is that I'm not making them eat keto, but I am switching their diet up a little bit closer to what I'm eating. And my problem is that with the keto, I'm not hungry at dinner time, so I'm feeding people breakfast and lunch, and then I'm forgetting that dinner needs to be cooked because I'm not hungry. I've been eating all this fat. But the thing is, I have some body fat that can be used up at night when I'm fat adapted, whereas I forget the girls. The girls don't have any body fat. I need to make sure to feed them dinner still. And they'll be out snacking. It's not that they're not eating. They're out snacking on all the fruit trees because we have permaculture food forests. And there's tons of fruit out there. We have pears and blackberries and raspberries and strawberries. So they're eating fruit all day.
Mom?
Yeah.
I have a dinner. I have one of those. I just created my own big bell. That way you can call us.
Cool.
And hear it.
Well, what I need you to do actually is clean up the garbage that you left on the entrance into the deck so nobody can walk. And no banging on anything till after the live show, okay? So take that out and put it on something that isn't right in front of the doorway. Yes, we are getting into that kind of age where the hormones start to come in a little bit. But for Kai, it's been emotion about not wanting to leave and not wanting to stay. She wants both things. She wants to go to Tulsa to be with Dad, but she doesn't want to leave the horse. She doesn't want to leave Grandma and Grandpa. And on top of that, with the keto thing, I haven't been as hungry myself, and I haven't been remembering to feed them the quantity extended throughout the day that isn't just fruit, because again, they're eating fruit all day long. They're not starving, but they need a better balanced meal at night rather than just eating fruit, and it's affected her blood sugar.
Where's my Leatherman?
Thank you, Denise.
Where's my Leatherman?
I'm not sure.
Did you take my Leatherman instead of yours?
Okay, so the Dylan Show said, how do I like the keto? I really enjoy it. I have had the keto flu 3 times now. I seem to get it once a week, where you just kind of feel fuzzy and warm and like you just want to lay down and sleep and you don't want to get up, and generally it's because I didn't eat enough fat. Once you do get fat adapted, you're running really smooth, really solid, and then if you if you have like a dip and you forget to eat your 3 things, your carb, your protein, and your fat, like if you do only one of those in a meal, then your body tells you pretty quickly. So you have to listen, you have to get your electrolytes in, but I love it. Usually I'm very munchy and I have a hard time staying focused on things, and now I just am like, let's go. But not in like a manic way. Instead, I'm just like, let's go live our lives. Let's go be happy. My brain feels good. And I just need to remember to keep feeding my kids. Because I'm without being, they're used to snacky mom. They're used to snacky mom. Mom's not snacky anymore. So I make sure to pack a lunch. I make sure that we have safe restaurants if we have to have restaurants. But dinner's the struggle because I don't eat dinner most of the time. Let's see. Is keto hard? Let's see. I have the book. Let's see. Where is it? The one that I really liked. I did a lot of research on YouTube about it, and I went to Barnes & Noble because I wanted an actual book, and this lady lost 100 pounds in a year, and her recipes are very simple, and I really liked that, and I liked reading her story. She does have plenty of carbs. You do need to have carbs. You just don't want to have more carbs than a certain amount, depending on your macros, which is what your ratio of carb to protein to fat is. Anyway, I really like this. And I will put the link in the description. I keep forgetting to do that. I upload the videos and then I forget to put the links in the description, and I'm really sorry about that. I've got like 3 videos now that I don't have any links in, and I apologize for that. I just don't remember. It's enough work getting the videos up and then I walk away from the computer and I do everything else, but I don't get the links in. Let's see.
You know, when I come show them how I'm making a bow and arrow.
I haven't heard Living with Hope. What, honey?
You want to come out and show them how I'm doing my bow and arrow?
No, but I do want you to clean up your mess fully before you start on a new project. There will be no mess making until you have finished your last project and people can walk in the house. My skin looks healthy. Well, that is also Catherine. I've been using her face cream stuff at night, and yes, my skin does look better for sure. But it's also the face cream. I don't know if she has it on her Etsy store yet or not, but it's fantastic. Let's see. Hello, your daughters will want to have jobs in the future or to work from home at home. I don't know what they're going to want to do. They have some pretty good skills and they're working on more skills. What I'm really wanting right now is for them just to feel confident in their bodies and to learn how to eat healthy and to just be really balanced at this point, and then we'll work on other things. John is having them work on coding, and they're learning how to spin, and probably I'll teach them how to do some of what I do in the future.
Well, Paige is the one that's learning how to do coding, but Dad doesn't really trust me with his iPad, which is the only iPad that has coding on.
Okay.
So just.
Are you finished cleaning up your mess? Okay. You might want to brush your hair so that we can go in. South Dakota has 102 degrees. Today, we're in the 90s probably. Okay, Chris said, I saw a scientific video saying keto diet makes us more susceptible to type 2 diabetes. I've had a pickle diet. What? Sorry.
Mom,
Hey, Robert B.
I'm gonna keep this here so that
You
we
need to
can
go
wash
wash
it
it.
with soap.
Did you actually wash it with the other water first?
No,
Go
not
wash it
yet.
with the other water. Otherwise, we're wasting water that's already been heated up. All right. How many carbs are you doing per day? On my macros, it was at like 45 carbs, but if you're on it for weight loss or for therapeutic, it needs to be below 20 grams of carbs. And it's actually pretty amazing how many carbs you can, how much food 20 carbs is. And if you're at 45 carbs, that's a lot of carbs. But I think everybody kind of has to do it differently. Do it their own way. Make sure they're not getting sick. For me, it was electrolytes. And I've only, what, honey?
Electrolytes are very salty.
Electrolytes are very salty. For me, it's been about energy, and it's been about just feeling good. I did lose weight at the beginning, and now I've plateaued, which I'm fine with, but I'm still losing inches, if that makes sense. Is it warm in Idaho? It was warm last night. It's cooler this morning. It's usually in the 50s in the morning. Let's see. Okay, so Catherine's going to try and put that face cream on the Etsy store this week, which I hope so, because it's made a huge difference. A lot of times in the camera work, I have lots of wrinkles in my neck that are not very attractive, and yet since I've been using her stuff, I haven't had the wrinkles in my neck, even though I've been out in the sun even more than normal. And I just put it on at night.
Yeah, I put it on too, and it helps with my face sores.
Yeah, and we've been using it on Kaya because she keeps putting cast-iron soap straight on her face without putting water on her face first, and so she kind of burned her face a little bit with some cast-iron soap.
But
So we've been putting it on. Yeah, the lotion helps a lot, huh? What would you recommend to a person who recently quit abusing alcohol but now wants to eat healthy? Stay away from sugar. Stay away from all sugar. There for a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was drinking a lot. I was drinking very heavy. And I actually forced myself into an autoimmune disorder. With that, I was drinking coffee during the day, and I was drinking alcohol at night, and I wasn't eating very much. And I got really, 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 really sick. And after,
and cranky all the time.
and I was cranky all the time.
Always cranky.
Always cranky. Working too hard. And so, but after I quit drinking, I still was eating the sugar. And I think the best thing you can do is cut off your refined sugars, maybe cut back on your fruit a little bit. Don't have fruit be the main part of your diet, and then just eat balanced.
Mostly if you don't want to be eating artificial sugars, and the sugars that you should be eating is fruit sugar.
What's the name of the book? Yes, she loves fruit, but I have to make sure she gets in other food too, because otherwise she doesn't last very long. This one's called Simply Keto by Suzanne Ryan. I do have this in our Amazon affiliate. Hey, Catherine, if you're there, do you have it? And do you mind putting it in the comments, at least so people can find it before I get it in the description? Simply Keto. It's very, very good. Argan oil is supposed to be great for moisturizing skin. I don't know what Catherine uses in hers, but it's clear and it's not greasy. It's more solid. Okay, so that's what Gatorade does. You look healthy. So I don't drink Gatorade because I don't like the artificial flavorings. I don't like the sweeteners in them. What I use, it's called Endure, and it's this little bottle of electrolyte drops that is just like seawater is what it tastes like. That's what I like to use. If you want another kind of electrolyte, you can take some of the liquid off of your homemade sauerkraut or kimchi and pour it into your water. That also creates electrolytes and no sugar. We do have the mason tops for the making of sauerkraut on our website in the shop in Dirtpatcheaven if you're interested in those. The solar ovens are there too. But most of our other stuff is over on our Etsy store still, Dirtpatcheaven.
Hey, Mom, can you come out and help me with this?
Are there always this many interruptions from the children or from people commenting? Both, yes. There are always interruptions because it's a live show. People want to be able to ask questions. Let's see.
I got things in.
Oh my goodness. We are so far. Off-grid lifestyle said you're losing weight. That means shopping. Well, actually, I have been shopping a lot. I've spent a lot of money on clothes in the last couple weeks because all of a sudden, even though I haven't lost a lot of weight, a lot of what I've lost is through my midsection here and in my arms. And so a lot of things that wouldn't fit before fit now, whether or not I'm losing weight. Hey, Kaya, can you go get the mattress that's on the bench and go put it back up on the bench so that it's not down in the stickers? Thank you. Denise, the wandering artist, said I was drinking heavily too up to this point. And for me, it wasn't that I had anything against drinking. I loved wine, especially the homemade stuff from my neighbor next door. But it was affecting my health. It was affecting how I treated my family. I just really didn't like it. And so I had tried to cut back and I was still being sick. And then I tried to quit all the way and that was really hard. And then I don't remember why eventually I just cold turkey quit. But I did. I just cold turkey quit. And that's been some years ago. Okay, so Karen Coleman said, I have been on keto for the last year and plateaued, now on carnivore diet this last month and feel great. We'll be back on keto next month. Yeah, and that's the nice thing about keto is you can get to where you want to be and then you can play with your diet. It's not like this hard, fast rule of like, if you're on keto at all, you have to stay on keto or you're going to die. It's more just like, where are you comfortable? Bring up your carbs, bring down your protein, bring up. But it just kind of educates you about your blood sugar, I think, because that's been the most positive thing is my blood sugar. I don't get hangry. I can eat a couple nuts, and because I'm fat adapted, it stays with me for a long time. Yeah, a little bit to heaven. So Catherine said, I have several carnivore keto friends, and they love it. Hello, Rob Karsten. Denise said, thanks for sharing. Kids will be kids. What kind of sewing crafts do you sell on Etsy? Am I way far off with these comments? It feels like maybe, am I missing? There we go. We got all the far down. Do I still drink coffee? I don't drink coffee.
But
like,
she drinks tea that tastes like coffee.
Yeah, I drink teachino, which is chicory, and sometimes it has carob in it. Sometimes it has other things. And I really like the teachino. It doesn't have caffeine. If I feel like I really, really, really need some caffeine, what I drink is decaf, or I'll drink a decaf tea, and that works really well for me if I have to have it.
And these are Mom's dried apricots. The best.
These ones were the open air dehydrator, but it took them a week, maybe a week and a half to dry, because there wasn't enough heat. So I really did want to go out and show you guys this, but we don't have any sunshine today. We have overcast because they're harvesting the wheat, and we just don't have bright sunlight. So are all the chores finished?
Yep. All the ones in the back.
All the babies, all the ducks are taken care of?
Did you check all of the goats, especially including the lamb? Did you feed the babies?
Hey, Susie Q, thank you.
Did you feed the babies?
So the babies in the back got fed and watered, and did the goats have water?
I'm asking Paige if she fed the baby goats. Paige, did you feed the baby goats?
Okay, so do all the goats have water?
Yep.
Did you offer everybody salt?
I was just doing all of that.
Okay, so you guys go check and make sure the goats all have water and all have salt, and then we'll go take care of Kelly.
Oh, Mom.
Yes, honey. Can you pick it up for me and put it in the compost? Thank you. So we are going to be here for a little bit longer, and then we're going into town. We're going to go ride, and we already, we're just going to lunge today, aren't we? Give her a little bit of a break. Okay, the Dylan Show said, do you do any work outside aside from your normal work? As in working for money or working on the homestead? We have gardening and taking care of the animals, and my work is YouTube. That is my work, and for almost 3 years it was our only source of income. Now John is working, and so I think it's an opportune time for him to be working again, because the kids are getting to that age where they really do, not that they ever don't, but to where I have a window, and if I don't use that time to teach my children how to adult, I'm going to not be able to teach them at all. Page is 11, so I have 7 years. I have 7 years to teach this child how to adult, and I want to do a really, really good job at it. So, did anyone see my son Evan question? What was the son Evan question, Gracie? Okay, Chris said probably get some muscle tone hauling hay and moving animals. Yes, you do. And when we were gone on our RV trip, I lost all that. I used to be able to buck hay really easy and haul the water really easy, and now I'm finding that I have just some general weakness from having been more of a normal American mom woman. I was still going to the gym everywhere we stopped. I went to the gym, but it's not the same as the functional fitness that you get from heavy lifting and consistent walking and that kind of thing. So there's quite a difference between the two. Okay, so I will go put these links in the description so you can actually find them. Hopefully I will be remembering a little bit better. And I do have videos coming up on keto and what I'm actually doing on keto, and I have a video coming up that talks a little bit more about therapeutic off-grid versus independent off-grid. And hopefully those will be helpful for you. Again, we leave September 25th. That's when we will be done here at the cabin, and everything will be wrapping up. We still need to show you the inside of the rocket mess heater and show if any creosote built up. I want to show you the double wall chimney that is filled with aircrete so that it works so well. All those things we need to show you before we leave. So we've got a lot to do, but I am focusing on the kids more than anything, so it might only be like a few videos a week, but I will do my best to keep making videos so that you guys can kind of see the wrap up. Inat said a diet like keto, doesn't it promote acidity? So far for me it hasn't, but I am very careful about having bone broth, and I'm eating sauerkraut and kimchi and other things that help you with your digestion, and I am still eating carbs, and I am still eating dairy, and so again, with any lifestyle you tweak it to your own needs. Well, thank you, Dylan Show. Let's see, for kimchi, do you need to use Napa cabbage, or can you use regular cabbage to make that? You can use any of those types of vegetables for your kimchi. You can carrots, radishes, cabbage, Napa cabbage. The one that we really liked that Sammy showed us was the one with the special radishes. It works differently, and it ferments a little bit differently because of the water content and the shape and the way that you cut it. But you can keep something like that in the fridge. Again, the mason tops really help. My kimchi that I made only lasted for about a week and a half before it started to go off because I didn't use the mason tops. I used something else to keep the air out, and it didn't work. So the mason tops are on our website if you want something like that. Thanks, Tom. Chris Hansen said if Honeydew started selling the aircrete ovens at Ace and Home Depot, that'd be awesome. It would be awesome. He's actually trying to get together a kit for people so that they can make their own and keep it simple. He has so much on his plate right now. He's still trying to get the aircrete air conditioner done, and I don't know if it's going to get done in time for it to matter. He may need to just cycle back to rocket stoves. It all just kind of depends. We'll have to see what happens. Make sure to go watch his channel. It really supports him so that he has the funds to be able to keep making videos. By the way, that's Honeydew Carpenter. Off-Grid Lifestyle said, thank you for going live, Mrs. Dirt, and thanks for what you do and inspire and having fun along the way. Well, thank you very much. Betty Bruce said, Julie, I need your help making cheese. Well, I have a couple videos, but generally I show how I did it wrong. Ina said, do you want to build another house if your daughters want to remain with you? I don't know why my daughters would want to remain with me. If they wanted to remain with us, I guess they could. They don't take up that much space. When we get into Tulsa, we'll be in still a very small house, but not as small as the one we were in before. The one we were in before, I think, was 520 square feet. This one is 320. But the one we're going to be renting in Tulsa will be just a small house instead of a tiny house. So they will have a bedroom. Let's see. Denise said you're moving again. If it is okay to ask where, same state. So this is our property in Idaho. This is our little off-grid cabin, and I come here to help my renters with the farm during the summer when there's more that needs to be done. And John is in Tulsa going to school and now also working. So John is in Tulsa, and will still be in Tulsa. It'll just be in a different house in Tulsa, not so tiny. We did the tiny thing, and now we're going to do the small thing and keep the tiny house here. So if that makes sense, we'll still be in Tulsa. So I'm going to go ahead and head out. We have a pony to go ride, and I have some bananas to go put in the solar oven. And as I get that done, I will give you more information as I can. Are we going to be off-grid when we go to Tulsa? No, we will not. The rules in every state are different, and setting up an off-grid house is actually expensive. If we didn't already have most of the groundwork here, we wouldn't have been able to do it here. But we had a hand pump. We already have our own property here, and we brought in an outhouse so that we were compliant with the law about not putting in a regular outhouse. So we have a porta potty, and we already had the goats, we had the gardens, we had everything here already. And all we had to do was move the house on. If I did it in Tulsa, I'd have to comply with the laws there, which would not be as favorable, I don't think, especially since, again, we have a house right there that we're renting out, so all the same property. Pardon me, I just coughed on the bananas. It's not real obvious what we're doing here. We're not making big waves, we're not getting in the newspaper, we're just living. And if we went into Tulsa and tried to do something like this, I think it would be more obvious. So we're not going to do that. We already have this here. John is working, and over time, once we're more settled and we know that it's not just going to be a temporary situation where he's working, he has a permanent job now, but we don't know if he'll be in Tulsa for more than a year. We don't know if then his job will take him somewhere else. It's hard to pick up and move when you're off-grid and be off-grid somewhere else. It's difficult. Let's see. LOL, I keep telling y'all you need to move out here by me. Well, and we love the Tulsa area. We absolutely love it, but we really need to stay close. We need to stay really close to Tulsa for John's work. We don't want him to have to commute. We've missed him enough while we've been gone, and we want him to be able to commute as little as possible and come home to see us. And we want to, girls, we want to be able to spend as much time together as a family and as little time on the road as possible, if that makes sense. So, all right, we're going to go ride ponies, and I'll try and get all the links in the description, and we'll talk to you later.